Yes. Oh my goodness. Hey guys. Hey guys. Purple, I'm not late. I just forgot to hit the little live button. Forgive me. See, look. So tonight I'm super excited to introduce to you to a few authors that you may never have met before. I'm also excited to introduce to you some that you already know. This is going to be an extremely wonderful evening. I thank you guys for joining us thus far. I want to check to see if I'm buffering or not. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, there's a commercial going on over there. Purple, I wasn't late. I just was doing my own little malfunction. So you got to forgive me on that one right there. I need to see if I'm buffering. Skip this right here. There's some really cool people, phenomenal. Hey, Pam, how are you? Welcome. Hi, the guy. Welcome. And Purple, welcome. So, again, like I said, as I thought I was saying before, there are 6 of us here this evening. We're going to start by just introducing our works of art. Then if you have questions for anyone, please feel free to put a question mark before and after so that they can be highlighted and they can see your questions. Also, we're going to just go through maybe 1 or 2 times just to go through and explain everything about our works of art. And then we're going to come together on the panel together and kind of, maybe ask questions to each other. And maybe if we already have each other's works, we can talk about that. Or if maybe we missed something. That's what we're here to do, is to support each other, to lift each other up. So I thank you guys for joining us. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, and definitely turn on your notification bells and share out the stream, because we want everybody to feel welcome, everyone to feel encouraged. And the more people that are here, the more we'll feel like, okay, what we're doing is amazing and dope and all those good things. And absolutely, this is a time for you to purchase our books. So definitely do so. And the information will be below of everybody's name. When they're up, their information will be below. So feel free to purchase their books. And if you want a picture, then just write in the chat that you would like a picture, and we'll make sure that they stay still with your signed copy, and then you'll get the picture and your copies will be mailed. As another note, each of us will be mailing out our own books. So give us at least a week or so, because we do know, because of the current climate with, the big C, COVID, things and the mailing system is a lot more slow than normal. So please do that. And I'm sure we'll be able to provide tracking numbers for you. So if you have questions about that, ask individually to whomever you purchase your books. So without further ado and without further interruptions, I'm going to bring up our first author. I will tell you, I met her last year, maybe around this time, in Baltimore. Her name is Imani. I'm super excited to hear about how she came up with her book and what she's doing. And then also, again, if you have questions for her, please ask question marks before and after so that we can get to them. And also, make her feel welcome, make her feel warm. Please, guys, without further ado, I want to introduce to you guys none other than Imani.
All right. Hi, everyone. How you doing? My name is Imani Vee. I am a poet and an educator based in Baltimore, Maryland, and my book is Peer Into My Soul. I wrote this book 3 years ago. It was a long process. I've been writing poetry my whole life. Love writing, always had a great way with words. And after my mom passed away, I really began to get into poetry more. Something that has always been expressed to me is to make sure that you tell your own story so that other people don't tell it for you. And so I thought that it was important to make sure that I told my own story. And that's what's here in Peer Into My Soul. So what I did was I took my emotions and my feelings about things that I experienced with my mother, with friendships, with work, with religion, with self-esteem. I took all of these different topics and put them into this book. I also used the experiences of some of my friends, things I've seen on TV, just experiences that Black women have as a whole. And so all the poems in this book are written in the first person, but all these experiences are not personally mine. However, it's called Peering to My Soul because we're all interconnected as Black women, as Black people. And so it's a way to look inside our shared experiences and our shared feelings. So going through this book, there are about 25 poems. They are in no particular order, but each poem speaks to some different things that I've experienced and other people have experienced. So that's a little bit about my book. If you would like to follow me, I'm on Instagram at Imani Vee, spelled the same way that you see here. And please reach out.
Thank you, Imani. Now we're going to have HASE come on up and talk about his work of art.
How y'all doing? My name is HASE Trek. I'm out of Jersey, Newark. So basically my book is called Circle of Pain. Before I get into in depth about the book, just giving you guys a little bit of my background. Like I said, I'm from Jersey, Newark specifically. I have a bachelor's degree, which made me kind of sway towards writing and pick up the whole craft of writing. Basically stemmed from circumstances that I had went through. Just being a Black male and having to endure through certain circumstances, and being that emotion is one of the things that Black men we struggle with. I needed a tool to help me to navigate that energy, that emotion in a more positive manner. So I kind of began more or less writing, and reading, excuse me. And in the reading aspect, it kind of swayed me and kind of I persuaded myself to write. And I don't know where it came from, but one day I just was like, I feel like I have a great story to tell, and I feel like I could connect with people just verbally. So I figured if I'm able to verbally connect with people, I know my written, lingo or the way I create a narrative and construct a narrative will also be productive as well. So, off the basis, I came up with an idea. I was actually basically listening to an audio book by a rapper called Prodigy, where he basically gives you his autobiography and breaks down certain things. So that was one of the things that inspired me. And also James Baldwin, I think it's called The Fire Next Time. Excuse me if I got it wrong. I actually have the book behind me, but just reading that and thinking of reading his experience and things, I felt it was right to create a book that talks about my experience and some of the things that I went through, and basically helping people to get through their own struggles as well, not just telling my story, but using it as a catalyst to, get people to get out of that funk of going through negative problems and negative circumstances and finding a greater light. So to dive into my book, Circle of Pain, is more or less catered to reaching your full potential. As I said, a lot of times we self-sabotage. A lot of times we get into these modes where we feel like things are just continuously going wrong, and we don't know how to get up out of that cycle, that circle, that circle of pain. And the title comes from another rapper called Styles P, who I'm a big fan of. I got my Tupac shirt on. I'm a big rap guy. And I heard a verse where he said, life is a circle of pain. The darkest clouds end up with the purplest rain. And like I said, I was just in such a funk at that time, and it resonated with me. And I was like, man, that'd be a great title, Circle of Pain. Like, everybody endures pain, and pain is always something that comes, it comes in different variations. But when it does come, it's up to us to navigate through it and figure out how we can make this pain or whatever this adverse circumstance is a positive. And so, like I speak about with Circle of Pain, the whole concept, it goes through, like I said, I tell my narrative, but it goes through these specific circumstances, and I use those as the, my leverage to kind of convey the story while also giving you guys, information on how to get through certain periods and certain points in your life if you endure these exact circumstances, or even if you know someone that else goes through these circumstances. And I'm very transparent, throughout the text and throughout the read. And I don't really hold back. I give you really the feelings I felt, the specific circumstances that I went through, just to help you guys realize that, you guys might have went through something worse, or you guys possibly have went through exactly what I went through. But if this is the start to get you guys to build upon, to find something greater within yourself to pursue, then that's perfect. This is definitely the perfect read for you. And that's mainly what I have about the text. I'm HASE Trek. Y'all can follow me on IG, Facebook, Snapchat at HASE Trek, HASETREK. And my book as well. I know you guys are going to get the physical copy, but it's also on Amazon.com. For the people that's not paperback readers, and that's more or less along the digital realm. And my last but not least is my second book, which I have not released yet. It's called Do You Feel Numb Yet, which is still in line to what I was talking about, not self-sabotaging and, going through circumstances that can prevent you from becoming your better self. This talks about the drug addiction and, just a different aspect of drug addiction, not just giving you guys the information, or not just telling you guys not to do drugs, but giving you different variations, whether it's statistics, whether it's personal experience, whether it's interviews itself, where I conducted interviews with a few people within the community who are possibly still struggling with it, or have basically, excuse me for lack of a better word, but they found a better way to, stop using drugs. So definitely be on the lookout for that, because that'll be dropping in a week or so. And, like I said, man, I'm happy I'm here. I'm a part of this. This seemed like this is going to be the first of many. So, that's it for me, man. Peace. And get y'all copies.
All right. Peace and power, family. I hope you all are well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Joy, for putting this together. This is amazing. In this stage of social distancing, it's wonderful that we can all still stay together and connect through whatever means possible. So I am Jaquetta. Stage name, pen name is Pen Fatale. For obvious reasons, I am fatal with the pen. At least I think so. But I have this book, and it's called Saturn Returns and Lessons Learned, right? And I started writing it when I was about 29. That's when I decided to release it. And it's because in astrology, the concept of a Saturn return is pretty much after you have been on this earth for about 29 and a half years, because that's the amount of time that it takes for Saturn to reach its original place from that point 29 and about 29 and a half years prior. And they say that during that amount of time, you learn quite a bit. And at that age, I was not in disagreement at all. I felt like I had learned quite a bit about myself, quite a bit about others, and I was just in a very cocoon type of stage. So I decided to write this book, and the basic framework of it is that you have 3 acts. So act 1 is lessons taught to the little girl. Act 2 is lessons taught to the young lady. And act 3 is lessons taught to the woman. So you kind of get to see an evolution of thought, an evolution of emotion and mindset, because I think that it's so necessary to be able to reflect on things and be able to heal from it. So I'm wearing this shirt today, still healing, because, and I actually had a conversation about this earlier today, healing is a never-ending journey. And I feel like I'm still in the journey. So the person that I was when I wrote this book, trust me, I am not that person. Not completely. Now I've learned so much more ever since then. And I think that that's how it should be. But you get to see a little bit or a lot of it of my life and my journey as I have gone through and healed from, and gone through more and healed from more. and doing a lot of unlearning and relearning, and learning some things for the very first time. So I did want to share, as we go on through the night, I'm hoping to share something from each act. And so from Act 1, Let's Talk to the Little Girl, I want to share something like family. Sometimes when it's quiet, I can hear love, like the sizzle of bacon on the weekend and the clean clang of pots and pans fighting to be chosen from inside the cabinet. And I smell the biscuits in the oven as they rise, while the taste of scrambled eggs dances around me. And it feels something like family. Sometimes when it's quiet, I can hear the cussing through the bedroom door, like secrets nobody's trying very hard to keep in the boom crash of parents fighting to have the last word or deliver the last blow. And I smell that funny powder smell through the cracks of the door they stuffed a towel at the bottom of, and I taste the pepper spray when the men in the uniforms take my daddy away. And it feels something like family. So that was one of the lessons taught to the little girl. Just a little bit about what childhood and what moving through as we move through this life, and we are working through our traumas that have nothing to do with us, but everything to do with our parents and their traumas that they didn't work through. So I hope you all stay tuned to get something from Act 2. Peace.
Hello, my family, friends, my ditums, and my jewels. uh, this is Stephanie, and I'm coming to you today. Thank you, Joy, for doing this. Um, some of you have already purchased my book, and I thank you. But for those that have not, this is my book is called "The Fullness to My Emptiness," and it's about 12 chapters, and it's an easy read. My book, I decided to write a book because of, I thought about all the things that I went through in my life, um, and how they impacted me as an adult, going as a teenager and as a child, going through a lot of things. I just thought about how, all the different things that you go through, how they impact you when you grow up, when you in your 30s and in your 40s, how you react to life and life different circumstances when you get older because of things that happened to you when you were younger. So my purpose for writing it was to show other young girls and women that, yeah, we go through things in life. We have some hard times, we have some rough times. People touch you that's not supposed to touch you. um you might have a relationship or even a bad relationship with your parents. You might be in a foster home like I was for like Sutton, the first year I was with my mother, but then 7 years after that I was in the foster home. So how you might even have to endure that. But even enduring all of that, because I'm a Christian. So how I talked about how even enduring that, how God never left me nor forsake me, even though I had to experience a lot of bad things, a lot of things that brought me to my knees, or got my heart broke and all the rest of that, lost my child, my first child. So these are some things that's in my book. Even in enduring that, you can be strong. You can make it out. You can make it through. You can be an overcomer. And that was the sole purpose of me writing my book, because I thought about how I felt as a 13, 14-year-old, having to go through all of that stuff. My stepfather doing things to me that he shouldn't have been, having a child at an early age, losing that child and all that. I thought about all of those things that I endured, and how a lot of young girls are still enduring that, and how if I didn't have that person that could talk to me or help me through it, I didn't have that. I just had to, like, push it up under the covers, push it up under the rug, don't say nothing, and keep on going. Um, so I thought about them, and maybe if they were to read my book, or their parent was to read the book and see that, maybe your child might be acting out that behavior that child is acting out on. Maybe you need to check it and see if it's something going on with the child, the reason why they acting like that. So that was one of the whole purposes for me writing the book. The book was very hard to write because I had to, go back there. I had to mentally and physically and spiritually go back to where I was then. It was so hard at the time that I kind of like stopped talking to my mother for a little while, and I felt bad afterwards because my mother was going through a hard time in her life then. She had cancer. So I wrote this book back in like 2005, but I wouldn't put it out because I felt like I was gonna hurt my mother um, if she read it, and with everything that she had to go through. So I held on to it. I wrote it. I got it published in print in about 2000 and she died in 2012. She got cancer 2004, 2005, and she passed away in 2012. And that's when I decided to print the book, because no matter what, even though, after I had gone through all of that with my mother, it was almost like the Lord just still was still tugging on me to, it's still people that need to hear your story. It's still young ladies or young men out there that still need to be delivered from the things that they're going through. And like right now, I'm still writing right now I'm in the midst of writing what you call it, like a notebook to go with it. Not a notebook, but how you when you have whole classes, and I can't even think of the name of it right now, but how you hold classes and you and it's like a workbook. That's what it is. It's a workbook to go along with it, because at the end of each chapter I put something in here to encourage a person through um, the situation that I had to go through. And if they're going through that same situation, it is yes, thank you, Professor. It's a workbook, but at the end of each chapter, it's a scripture to help you to that you can read to help you get through if you might be going through the same things that I went through at the time, in each chapter. So it was, once I did it and got it out there, it was a blessing. I was really nervous, but I got a lot of good feedback from it, and I appreciate the people that did read it. And it is to bless somebody. That's what it's like to, if you read it, I hope that you can, whoever reads this book, if you are going through some of the things that I went through, or maybe you might know somebody, or take a look at your girls or your young men, and think about, why are they doing some of these behaviors that they doing. The world is going through a lot right now, and so people are acting out and doing some things, and we don't know why or what's in their past and what they've been through, and so we don't know how to help them or how they can be delivered. But if we stop and think about some of the things that you went through when you were younger, um, and then think about them, a light might come on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, well, maybe they might be going through this and they might be going through that. So that's how a way we can learn to show people love and compassion. So that was the main reason why I wrote this book, so that somebody could read it and then show somebody else compassion and love that might be going through. Or if you're going through it, read it and know that you can come out of it on the other side. Because God will never leave you nor forsake you, even though we have to go through whatever it is we have to go through. So I hope you decide to purchase the book. I do have them here, but they are also on Amazon. Like my brother earlier said, some people don't like to read here they like to have it on their tablets. So it is, you can purchase it on Amazon, but of course you can get it from me and I will mail it to you through my you can contact me on my DM, which is Stephanie50 Climbing. You can contact me in there and I will get you your book. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening. Love you. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's up? So my name is Durrell, and I wrote the book R.A.P Goals. So R.A.P is an acronym that I created. It stands for, let me get the book up for you guys. It stands for responsibility, accountability, progression. These are my 3 keys to life. So no matter what you're going through, when you hold yourself responsible, you hold yourself accountable, you will progress from there. Now, let me rewind back. So the reason why I started this book was because about 4 years ago, another black man got killed by the cops. I don't even remember who because we're just so numb to it now. So I got tired and I got frustrated. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get every black man I know in my phone and I'm going to send them a positive message every day because I started reading this book that was like, you can achieve anything in a year. And I was like, there's some great messages in here, but I don't know none of these people that they're quoting in here. But I was like, man, I got a great rap line that can go with every one of these assignments in here. So I started writing to my friends every day for 365 days, but I told them to hold me accountable for each day. So when I got to the end, I said, well, you know what? I could turn this into a book. So that started me the whole process of going into the book making process, which was another like 1.5 years. So it was a 3-year process altogether. Then I started making the books in the house because they started charging me too much. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna cut the middleman all the way out. So I don't even got my books on Amazon or nothing like that because I just was like, man, I made them, so I'm gonna get everything off of them. And plus, they were trying to just get too much and they didn't even do anything. But I wanted to read from the book because I feel like it's a better understanding because it's a journal, right? Because it all started with the journal. And you'll get a better understanding once I read from this book. So I'm gonna read this Big Sean quote. This is from day 188. So like I said, I do 365 days. They go like this. I'm living proof that you don't need a master just to be a masterpiece. Now, education, when you hear that word, what's the first thing to come to mind? Education is derived from the Latin verb educate, that means to bring forth or to bring up. As time went on, the education in our time, to me, means the ability to obtain information to pass a test, most cases. But education doesn't just come from the classroom. We go to school every day. It's called life. Each day we are faced with a new test that we must solve. And if you don't solve it, don't worry. There's a makeup test right behind it because you're going to have to go through that same thing over and over again until you pass that test, right? Now, for the past few days, we've been looking at how readily accessible information is and the fact that there should be no excuse why we have smartphones and are not utilizing them to their full potential. What Sean said means a lot to me because I was one of those kids who decided college wasn't for me. So at 17, I had to figure a way to make the same amount of money as someone who has a degree. My teachers and friends used to look at me like I was nuts for not following the norm. I chose the path of electrician. As you can tell, and you can't tell me now that I'm not a master or anything, or a master's degree would make me any different now than if I would have went and got an actual master's degree, right? So I've been an electrician for the last 12 years. We know the information is there for the taking. What are you doing to obtain it? This leads to our assignment today. Ask yourself, are you reading books on the subject that you're interested in? Are you following the top people in that field? Do you know their story? Are you reaching out to these people? You see, I can go on and on, but realize this, you don't need school all the time to become a master. You need dedication, hard work, routine, consistency, and persistence. Sounds like a lot, but what are you fighting for? Just a little piece of the pie, or are you fighting for the whole pie, right? The bigger the dream, the harder the risk, right? So I want you guys all to know, man, don't be afraid to trust your gut. I did at 17 and didn't realize it was preparing me for life right now. Trust your gut. May not be what everyone wants you to do, But in the long run, believe it's possible. If you believe it's possible, man, it can happen. So that's just like an example out the book. And then what you will have to do is you will have to write down in your journal, you know, about your life and what you're facing at that time. You know, how can you make yourself a master? Because we all go through these things. So the whole purpose of this book and the premise of this book is to kind of shift your mindset from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. You know, stop saying try and saying I can, I will. You know, speak those words into existence. And when you start doing those things, you'll start realizing things happening for you. So you can find my book at www.rapgoals.com. And like I said, you can find it there, or you can hit me up. I'm in the Baltimore area. I forgot to even say that, right? So I live in Baltimore. But yeah, you can find me in Baltimore, or you can go to rapgoals.com. Everything is Rap Goals, man. It's just Google Rap Goals, you'll find me. That's it for me. Unmute.
My bad. My bad, y'all. Y'all can tell I'm nervous, right? So I appreciate you guys. I hope you're having a good time so far. This is the first time that I'm doing something like this. I'm thankful for all of the authors that are here right now. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Please remember that all of these books are on sale for you tonight. Do not hesitate in asking questions if you have any. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my book. Well, my books. So this is the first one that I ever came out with. It's called Quotes That Make You Say Oh, from Instagram to Your Hand. They're pretty much all quotes that came from here and gone to the paper. I think what I've liked the most about every single person that has come up so far is that we're all about trying to raise our vibrations to something higher. So I'll read maybe one or two quotes out of this book. This is the very first book I had ever written, and it was back in 2018. So I'm not like a legend yet, you know, in writing books. But I'm just gonna write it right quick. It says, "You can't expect anyone to communicate the way you prefer. See them halfway. Amazing things happen when you're on one accord." I'll read it again. "You can't expect everyone to communicate the way you prefer. See them halfway. Amazing things happen when you're on one accord." That's just one quote from here. I'll read one quote from the second book, which was published last year. This one is more so if you're interested in kind of upping your little love game a little bit. So I'm going to flip through and see what we get. I'll flip through. Let me flip through to one that has something about love. Okay. "I fell in love with the impossible. One day, the impossible was no longer a dream." I fell in love with the impossible. One day, the impossible was no longer a dream. That's from this book. I'm going to have you wait for the next one because we're going to go around again. If you have questions, please put question marks before and after so that we can get to them. Again, this is something that you guys can enjoy. My books you can get either here tonight, physical copies tonight, or you can go to my website, btdllc.com. And now we're going to go back to Imani. If anyone is new to the chat, if you missed her, then you can check her out. And forgive me, guys, again, I'm in the back scene doing all these things. I still got Rap Goals tickle on there. So I'm going to get it right. So I'm going to bring back Imani again. Please If you have questions, again, ask her. And it will all going to come up as a panel together in a few, okay? So let's bring it on over to Imani.
Hello again, everyone. In case you're just tuning in, my name is Imani Vee. I'm an educator and a poet based here in Baltimore. So my book is called Peer Into My Soul. This is a book of poetry. Sorry, somebody said they can't hear me. Okay, hopefully everyone can hear me now. So this is a book of poetry. I wrote this book about 3 years ago, and this book has a lot of my experiences, my feelings, and just a lot of the things that we go through as Black women. You know, coming of age and just trying to figure out adulthood. I can show you better than I can tell you about the book. So I would like to share part of a poem that I wrote in here that's called Daddy Issues. I'm going to share that with you all. Stay here with me. Don't leave. Stay here with me. Don't leave like the others. Please stay, I begged, and yet you're choosing to go. Open the door, walk out, never to return. In my heart, there's a burning. I'm just a young woman yearning for love. And in your mind, thoughts are churning about how you vowed never to return to another bag lady. You and the one before and all the previous ones before him weren't man enough to see that the weight I carried was not my own. Those bags were passed down by generations of fathers in my family who chose not to come home and nurture their children with love and care. I didn't tell my father to leave when things got difficult with him and my mom. I didn't say, I want you gone. But when he wrote her off, he wrote me off too. And when she cried tears at night for her relationship that failed, I cried my own tears for my daddy who wasn't there to give a speech to my boyfriends before I went out on dates, to protect me from the grown man who ripped my innocence away, to show me how a queen should be treated, to spend quality time with me that was much needed. So that's just a preview of one of the poems in my book. As I stated before, this book was therapeutic for me because it allowed me to speak my truth, to talk about the things that I've experienced, the things that I've seen women in my family, my friends, all these different people that we've experienced, and be able to put them here. So if you like what you heard, if you would like to check out my book, I'm on Instagram as Imani Vee, spelled the same way that you see on your screen. And you can get the book from me. Reach out if you have any questions about the book, about anything in here, just let me know. And I appreciate your support. And that's all.
It's me, HASE Trek. I'm back. And I'll do my introduction. I didn't give you guys anything to kind of keep you guys engaged in my writing, or just give you a glimpse of what I'm talking about. I'll start with the introduction. As you see in the background, Marcus Garvey is like one of those guys that after you learn about his impact and things like that, you'll understand why I started off and introduced the piece of one of his speeches into my introduction. So my introduction goes like this. In the blessed words of Marcus Garvey, a people without the knowledge of the past, history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Marcus Garvey was a Black activist whose sole purpose was to educate Black people about the history, building knowledge of self, so they could then begin to value themselves. In the journey of constructing a book about my life, I had to understand not only myself, but the roots or the ancestors that I descended from. Many who are growing up in urban communities are not aware of or fail to acknowledge our self-worth. I too was a person who was not in tune with my self-worth. This caused me to make a variety of mistakes along the way. With those mistakes, excuse me, I had to learn to recognize that I possessed greatness within me and was more than just a living species trying to get by daily. Also, Dr. Martin Luther King once said, number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel like that you're nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. Always feel that you have your. Always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Once the countless, endless hard work of educating, learning, and identifying of my identity was established, I had to seek out my motivation in life, then work toward it continuously and relentlessly to acquire and secure it. Nothing will ever be easy, but anything worth having is worth struggling for. Dr. Martin Luther King also stated, secondly, in your life blueprint, you must have as a basic principle the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. If it falls to you, your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures, sweep streets like Beethoven composed music, sweep streets like Leontyne Price sings before the Metropolitan Opera, and sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived the great street sweeper who swept his job well. The amazing part about these quotes in relation to self-discovery is that they are timeless. To discover yourself, time will be a factor, and you have to use it responsibly. Don't waste it or take it for granted. We all have purpose and need to achieve it to reach our highest plane of success. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my process to learning myself while in the circle of pain. So that's my introduction. And like I said, I start there because, going through such negative circumstances, you need that uplift and that energy to kind of bring you up and to let you know that you do and you are somebody beyond all the things you go through. We seeing some of the repercussions or some of the things that kind of bind us in our culture with like social injustice right now. So it's so easy to feel like you're nobody and to feel less than or to feel defeated because of such circumstances. So I felt like it was a great way to start with some empowerment, getting the reader really engaged through the introduction. And like I said, my name is HASE Trek. I can talk for days. I'll take over the whole thing, but make sure y'all definitely, if you get the copy now, or like I said, later, or if you digitally read it, definitely leave a review as well. But I don't really have too much to say. Oh, and I wanted to say, I forgot to tell y'all the first time too. If you buy 2 copies of Circle of Pain, I'll give you an additional free copy of this. You'll earn a free copy of Do You Feel Numb Yet? Okay. So anyone who purchases 2 or more copies, you're eligible to get a free copy of this. I haven't released it yet, but I'm willing to give off at least 10 to 15 copies for free, depending on how many people purchase, and how many copies each individual person purchases. Okay. And like I said, man, it's good to be here.
All right, peace, everyone. I am back. I'm back. Thank you for all the other writers out there. Y'all got some dope stuff going. I'm a mirror. Joy sentiments. It's really wonderful to see everybody raising their vibrations and just moving upward and onward. So I really love that. I really love the energy. I love the energy in the comments. So y'all keep that going. So I know that I told you all that I was going to share another poem from another act in the book, and we shared something from Lessons Taught to the Little Girl, and I'm gonna skip the Lessons Taught to the young lady and go on to Lessons Taught to the woman. Just in the interest of time, I want to make sure y'all get this poem. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my supporters' favorites, and this is it's more so for the ladies. So for all the men that's out there, I'm gonna need y'all to just sit back and just for a little bit, and hopefully the ladies can understand a little bit, and hopefully this resonates with you. She must be something to have had the stars align right in time for her to deserve what was once mine. I mean, she was spared the heartache because I had already bared the heartache in her place. She should thank me. I mean, she got the man, but surely she must know men don't grow on trees. Nah, sis. Boys become men from weary women on their knees, reaching out to an intangible being, and she should thank me. me, and she should ask me how it felt to stand behind him with no one there to catch me as I fell in 4-letter words. A big pile of 4-letter words. Shit. I mean, she must be something to have missed it, the makings of him. And inside, she smiles gratefully as she picks up where I left off to carry him off to her 4-letter word. Love. And, you know, maybe I should be thankful that I got the first of him, right? But really, no, I think she should be thankful that I got the worst of him. See, she should appreciate my sacrifice. She gets the cold hard truth because I already suffered through the burning lies, and her tear-free face gets to see a worthy man because I already dealt with the burning eyes. I got the coal, she got the diamond. Like I got the consolation prize. So it's almost as though number one never really won. It's kind of like I was second to none but her. I mean, she must really think she's something for getting something that should have been mine in the first place. If I was first place. Because she must mean more to be given more than what was given me. See, you know, sometimes it's like ladies, you know how they just friends tend to get treated better than their everything. So if I was everything, then what the hell is she? She must be something. So you know what? On that note, shout out to the side chicks. The ones that fill in the blanks, the rental relationships that celebrate everything a day late, so happy belated this or that. Happy halfway holiday with its leftover love and stale sentiments on a hand-me-down heart-shaped plate that's served in a bed that's half empty by sunrise or half full. Because, you know, they be optimistic, those side chicks, who ride with men who are spoken for, hoping for more than just scenic routes through night skies on dates where they can't be recognized. I mean, they're out in the open, but they're still disguised. Side chicks be dressing up real cute, kind of like girlfriends or something, and you would never know. See, she shows off her secondhand emotions, and she just gives her brand new clothes. He flashes her an irregular smile that was tailored for another, perfectly fitted for forever love, not a temporary love. And I mean, you're fun, but she's the one. You're the lust and she's the love. See, you old sideline go-getter, you play your role so well as pinch hitter. Uphold the honor of bench warmer, and as soon as he calls, you come through. So everyone, let's give a shout out to the side chicks, because those hoes need love too. All right, so that one was a super personal one, right? Oh God, it was nasty. But it's a part of the life of so many people, and I didn't really realize, because you know when you're going through something, it's like I am the only one that stuff happens to. But as you open up, and I think that as women, as Black women, we don't open up enough and allow ourselves to be vulnerable with other Black women, and instead we're kind of socialized to look at other women as competition in a very demented and erroneous way. And so as I came to perform that poem, I got connected to more and more sisters to see that it's a thing. It's a big thing. There are some who are the victims of it, and there are some who are the perpetrators of it. And at the end of the day, because one thing that I make sure that I make clear in my book is the concept of people acting out of their hurt and out of their pain and out of their trauma. And that goes for you, because you've done some stuff that people don't like. And we've had to be on the receiving end of some stuff that people don't like. So as I'm moving forward, I'm learning something called grace, and I'm learning something about myself that allows me to understand and understand people and what makes them tick and what makes them act in the way that they act. And a lot of times, the things that people do to you ain't about you. It's about them, and it's about that trauma that they have still unresolved. And you kind of have to, if you need to take a step back for your spirit, you have to do that. But you also owe it to yourself and to your own healing to have that understanding. And don't take everything so personal. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that piece. Feel free to reach out. And I want to give a shout out to my Brick City brother. I was born in Newark, New Jersey. HASE, thank you so much for shouting out Nana Marcus Garvey. We are actually at the 100-year anniversary of the red, black, and green flag, which is brought by him. So we do have our liberation flag, and anyone in the Baltimore area looking for a celebration, a big blackity black celebration to go to in a couple of weeks, please feel free to reach out to me because I got something for you.
Everybody snap. Girl. Girl, yes. The poem though. Uh-huh. Yep. I was back here like, yep. All right, for those of y'all that just coming on, I just want to read I'm Stephanie Glenn, aka Hype Man. My YouTube handle is Stephanie 50 and Climbing. My Instagram is Stephanie 50 Climbing, all one word. And I also have a Facebook is Stephanie Vaughn. I'm just gonna read the back real quick. It says, "What the devil meant for evil, God turned it around for my good. When I was younger, I didn't understand why I had to go through so much. I thought that things would get better as I got older, but it just seemed to get worse. By the time I turned 17, I had experienced way too much for a girl that age. It seemed like every time God made things better for me, I would make them bad. I did what I wanted, when I wanted, and how I wanted to do them. And it left me feeling empty inside. The more I tried to cover it up, the emptier I got. The fullness to my emptiness had begun. And that's the name of my book, The Fullness to My Emptiness, because we go through things in life that leave us empty. Um, that's like my sister just said, sometimes it's things that we do on our own, and sometimes it's just life circumstances, things that we have to endure as children, as young adults, as older adults. We have to endure things and they leave us empty inside. And so we have to find in life, our journey is to find what is that thing that's gonna make you full? What is that thing that's gonna make you whole? And that's why God gave me the title, The Fullness to My Emptiness. So please be encouraged. If you want to read the book, hit me in my DM, Stephanie 50 Climbing, all one word. And I will get you a copy. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, Stephanie 50 Climbing Mukbangs.
Oh, my bad, guys. I was looking at it on the YouTube side. It was a little delayed for me, but what's going on? Shout out to my guy, man, HASE, man, because we always be just spitting ideas and stuff, sometimes back and forth, just supporting. So, get 2 copies so this way you can get your free copy, because that's a great book. But yeah, like I said, guys, I wrote this book called R.A.P Goals. R.A.P stands for responsibility, accountability, progression. These are my 3 keys to life, guys. You can use that in any area of life. So no matter what you're going through, when you hold yourself responsible, hold yourself accountable, you will progress from there. And you can also, like I said, find us on my website at www.rapgoals.com. And like I said, I read earlier from it, but for real, like, it took me a year and like a half to write this book. And I know a lot of times people, us in general, everyone, we get discouraged sometimes when we go after a goal and we don't reach it in the time frame that we thought we were supposed to reach it. But what I'm here to tell you is that it's possible, and understand that it might not happen when you want it to happen, but if you keep going at it and you keep just inch by inch, little by little, and just brick by brick, you will eventually reach that goal. Sometimes we kind of just look straight to the top of the mountain and we're not looking at what's in front of us and what we actually already accomplished. And when we do that, we'll see that we actually accomplish a lot. So what I want you guys to do, just out there just in general, I want you just to write down, you know, no matter of fact, I just want you to go get a journal if you don't have a journal, for real, and just write down like how your day was. That's how I really started it. And then eventually I started writing down what's my purpose. And after that, more things just started coming out. And the same thing happened for you guys, man. And like I said, man, Rap Goals. You can find it at www.rapgoals.com. That's really all I got. It's kind of, it's cool, but it's weird because I'm not like in person. So that's it.
All right, guys. All right. Okay. So let me make sure I have all of that is back together. He is absolutely right. Durrell is right. It's different when we're doing this virtually. Guys, we are doing our best to show you our works. I hope you have enjoyed things thus far. I know I've been getting filled with some of the quotes and some of the readings and excerpts that I've heard from people's books. Durrell, you know I enjoy you. Jaquetta, you know, this is the first time I'm meeting you, but I definitely want to stay connected with you. And HASE, you know, I met you at the same time as I met Imani. And, you know, Hype Man, you know, I'm always there every morning on YouTube and her channel in the break room. Just a little bit more about me. This is my YouTube channel, but it's just an open platform for everyone. I know, like I said before, it's hard for us to get together as a community without masks on, and also without being fearful that we might catch something from even being too close to each other. This is a platform where I want us to continue to try our best to put humanity first. That is always my goal. That is always what I root for till the day that I die. I want humanity to be first. I want us to never forget about humanity. Now I'm just going to read from you from the newest book that was published. I'm going to read you the first quote because to me, I think it hit real hard. So it says, "Don't be so opinionated that your opinion becomes jaded. Don't be so opinionated that your opinion becomes jaded." That's right there. You want the rest, you're going to have to support. Somehow, some of you may have copies. I hope you have enjoyed it. Again, as a reminder, this is a virtual book signing. So if you are interested in purchasing a book from any one of these wonderful authors, please feel free to sow your support and your seed into us. The tickers have had our Cash App information on there. And there's some options too. Some of them you can actually purchase on Amazon. So at this point in time, I'm going to bring us all up on the panel together, whoever is able to do so. And I really want you guys in the chat to engage. If you have questions for anyone specific, you can. Authors, if you want to add or share extra things from your books, this is the time to do so. But I think now, because I said humanity first and I want us to be together, let's be together on the panel virtually together. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can unmute their mics. And again, if somebody's speaking one at a time, if possible, if it becomes too feedbackish, then we'll just mute each other, mute yourself. But I'm going to bring back up everybody. So here we go. I think that's everybody. We're just missing one other person. Let me add you to the stream. There we go. So guys, how did you enjoy this evening thus far? And I don't think, I'm not sure if people know how to follow everybody. So if one at a time, we can all do that. And I hope you enjoyed yourselves too as the authors.
Well, I'm HASE Trek.
Who wants to?
I'll start off. I'm HASE Trek. Y'all can follow me at HASE Trek, HASE TREK. It's on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. If you could think of it, most likely I'm on there. Goodreads. So you guys can definitely follow me there. I don't know if you guys have any questions, but if you guys have any questions, I'm looking at the chat now. You know, And if you can't think of any questions now, you can always DM me on any of those platforms. I always get back to you in a timely fashion as well. And thanks again, Joy, definitely for holding this event. Thank you to all the attendees too, because just for us, just giving us y'all time is also major too. Because as a writer, we know it's tough, man. As a writer, to get people to really engage. We in a time where like a lot of people like things fast, and a lot of people don't really read as much. So definitely to have your attention right now is major as well. And that's it.
Anybody else?
Ladies,
Yeah, you can reach me at Stephanie D Climbing, all one word, Stephanie 50 Climbing. At that's my Instagram. You can DM me. I usually check it every day because that's how I deal with people most of the time. But I also have a Facebook that is Stephanie Vaughn, but you might have to find it under Stephanie Glenn. GLENN, but I also have a YouTube channel which is Stephanie 50 and Climbing Mukbangs. I am on there Monday through Friday. I have a live. I go live Monday through Friday on my YouTube and it's called The Break Room. So you can come in and reach me in there. And when you come in, make sure you subscribe to my channel.
For me, again, my name is Imani Vee, and you can reach me on Instagram at Imani_V, VEE. That's on Instagram. You can reach out there. My book is available for purchase on Amazon. So if you search Peer Into My Soul, you can purchase the book there, or you can get it directly from me, whichever one you prefer. Thank you so much for the support.
Yo, I don't think we got a picture. Is anybody in the chat able to take a picture of us? If we can all like kind of just hold up our books and like, just do a picture. If you guys can just, somebody in the chat or a few of you in the chat, just take a few pictures, we'll pose.
Switch it up, right? All right, switch it up. Right?
Hey, Brooklyn, take a picture. That's the cameraman.
Oh, yeah. I hope y'all got a bunch of pictures. Send it to our DMs. Again, if you don't know how to reach us, I did put the information. More of the information will be in the description after tonight. So guys, if you could just DM me however you want people to contact you, I'll make sure I'll add it to the description so anybody who watches this in the replay can have a way of checking us all out. So, I'm just thankful that you guys were here. I'm glad that it moved smoothly. So I'm wondering, like, anybody else besides HASE, like, are you guys writing anything else in the works that we can look forward to?
Right now, I'm working on Peer Into My Soul Volume 2, and I'm hoping to have that out by October 2020. So my second poetry book.
Oh, we changing our mindsets, right? We're not saying hoping, we saying I will, right? So
I will. Peer Into My Soul Volume 2 will be October 2020.
No, that's
there you
right.
Go. We're putting that out in the atmosphere. We believe in the universe, right? So you gotta
that's true.
The universe questions, the universe is going to give you questions back. So you gotta be direct with the universe. It answers everything. Be direct.
Yes, you're right.
I'm making a what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say I'm not writing anything. This was like a whole lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just really honestly figuring out different ways to get it out there. So this was like this is really great. And honestly, like, we got to do this again. So yeah, just different ways of getting it out there and just connecting with other authors and just bouncing ideas off each other. So this way we all can win, right? So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what the same thing with me. Well, I am writing a workbook. I'm writing a workbook because, when things open back up, one of the things that I wanted to do with this book was to have have workshops with young girls and have them come in and talk to them and have them be able to open up and talk in a safe space. And so I wanted to make a workbook to go along with it, to ask them questions where they can write down whatever they, like a journal type workbook where they can be able to write down how they feel, what might be going on in their life, and all that stuff. So that's I'm in the process of writing making the workbook.
There you go.
That's good.
Jaquetta, you?
Yes, yes. So I am not actively and intentionally writing for any specific project, but I do have a project in mind. Um, and it's going to be dedicated to my late mother. She actually just transitioned in April. And so I kind of want to delve a little bit more into motherhood and what that looks like, what it looked like for she and I having that Black mama, Black daughter relationship, and also healing through the transition of my mother. And not only that, but healing our relationship and what that kind of felt like and looked like. Because it was messy and then it was so super beautiful. And so I'm so thankful, and I feel like I got to get that out. Yeah, that's it.
For me, I don't know. When I see how things happen for me is when I get really bored, that's when I start to like publish stuff. Or like
Right.
get something else. So like I don't want to be bored no more, y'all. Keep me occupied. I don't want to be bored. So that's pretty much how this book came about. I just got bored one day, and if you guys don't know, I don't know if you guys know on the panel, but all of these quotes came from Instagram, and I was challenged to write they're my quotes. Let me make that clear too. I was challenged because I am a business that you're supposed to write 2 quotes or 2 pictures in 1 quote. And that's how the algorithm on Instagram will pick you up. So I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know I'm not a writer. I don't know, like, if anybody's going to want to read what I have to say about quotes. And I definitely didn't want to just regurgitate someone else's quote. So I don't know. Some of it just flowed out. Well, all of it flowed out, and some were inspired by things that may personally have happened or things that I saw. But that's pretty much how this collection came about. So for a whole entire year, I was posting more quotes and pictures on Instagram, and I was challenged to become an author because I was getting my hair done, and one woman was like, "Well, more of us females should become writers." So that little girls could look up to us and be like, okay, I don't just have to be a dancer, actor, or singer. There's other things you can do. So I was like, all right, I took that as a challenge. And that's how this came about. And then the rest of them, out of boredom. So I don't know. I'm thankful. And I don't know what else is going to happen. But I don't know. Stay tuned to all of us,
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm moving, man. I got things that I want to do, but some things got slowed down because of the virus. But like I said, we just getting it out there. That's the most important thing. I think the most important thing is just getting our stuff out there, and then everything else will fall into place.
Anybody in the chat got questions for us? This is your chance. Hey, Sister Fifi. This is your chance to ask away and also to support as well, because this is a book signing. So it's meant for us to like physically be actively signing books, because that is actually fun to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So for the other people that's in the other authors, like when y'all send out your books, when you mail them out, do you put like little extra stuff like Joy do with your book, like cards or anything?
So with my book, I have a 30-day pamphlet. Well, not even 30-day. Like I got the book broken down into 30 days, like a sample size, and I always just send that with it. So this way you have 2 books theoretically.
Oh, wow.
Like you can give the other one away, and then you'll have that plus a card. Well, like with my business card.
Well, that's cool.
I'm not there yet. I usually just mail it out and just I used to do business cards. I'm kind of out of the business card phase after year one. I feel like everybody's so into like social media, so I'm more or less just like trying to get
Mm,
a follow. I kind of scrapped the business card idea because I know most people lose them or misplace them sometimes. So me personally,
Samples.
this was like, I scrapped that idea. But I think that is something to really take heed to and to put something that can really cater to, keeping that following that fan base for sure.
Somebody wanted us to
okay.
hold our books up in the chat. Hold your books up, guys.
Hold our books up.
Mm-hmm.
I always got to be the silly
All
one.
right.
This not a serious bone in my body. Oh, you still doing it?
Oh, we still doing.
Imani, turn your. Oh, you still doing it?
She really said
Oh, you muted, Imani. You did what I did.
Yeah, Joey was just
I'm
talking.
muted now.
Going in.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I was going in and I was like,
I was like, she don't even know she on mute.
oh man.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Are we
Okay.
done?
All right, we good.
Right.
We good. They said we good. We good.
Okay.
Oh, somebody has a question. Don't be so opinionated that you're pink. What do you mean by that? I mean, like, it's almost talking yourself out of good things. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you conjure up things in your mind, and then you start to dissect it over and over and over and over and over to the point where, like, what you originally thought was probably the best possible outcome, but because you've done it over and over, you watered it down, and now you're just confused. So that's pretty much what that meant. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry.
That is brother Dakare Jehudi.
All right. I
Very good
apologize.
brother out here in Baltimore doing some good work. Very good question, brother. We appreciate you.
We got
Now,
another question in there too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I wanted to kind of like add on to that because I took a emotional intelligence training, and during the training we discussed the idea of perception versus conception. So we perceive things in a way that we conceive it, right? So just again talking to the women, because we could be going through stuff. Men, y'all be going through stuff too, but I can't speak on that. So
I respect it, but we go through things though. I just want you to know that.
Right.
I just want you to put that out there. Like we do go through things.
So check it. A woman walks into a room of other women, right? And as she's walking up to the room, you hear laughter. And then everybody gets kind of quiet. And then once you walk into the room, you hear that laughter again. So automatically, you're assuming, especially if those are women that you don't know, and you might know that they all know each other and everything. And so you walk in and they all clicked up and everything. Hey, girl, hey. But you walk in and they kind of look at you because they're noticing you walking in, but they start laughing based off of a joke that was said before you actually came into the room. You're going to automatically assume, oh, sister,
Like, are they talking about me?
Yeah, like, I walked in the room and y'all started laughing. But it's because you have a conception in your mind, and it could be it could be rooted in your truth, in your experience, right? Because maybe in high school or in college or wherever it was, that happened to you. It was doing the Mean Girls thing. But here could be a safe space for you.
Right.
And you're automatically like, these women ain't no good because they laughed at me as soon as I walked in. And instead of giving them a chance, that could be an opportunity to really build a fruitful sisterhood. You automatically shun it, right?
Right.
So that it just took me back to when I did that class. So I'm glad that I retained that. I learned me something that day.
Absolutely.
All right, somebody want to do that question that we got up here? Once a reader finishes your book, what's the most important thing you want your readers to learn about it?
I can start it off.
Yeah.
The most important thing I want my readers to learn about me is that I am constantly evolving and changing. Peering to my soul, none of us stay the same. We're always growing, whether it's in a positive way or negative way. We're always growing, changing based on our experiences, and based on where we are in life. So this book, Peer Into My Soul, the poems that are in there, it talks about so many different things. And throughout the process of writing this book, I evolved and changed from the beginning to the end. And when Peer Into My Soul Volume 2 comes out, there'll be a different Imani Vee there as well. So just that peering into my soul is a consistent process. It's not just a one-stop shop.
Gotcha.
I think everybody should.
Okay. Okay, I can answer for mine. Well, I say in 365 days you'll find your purpose, right? Well, I'm kind of lying because life is a journey and you're gonna constantly be going on this journey. So it's a constant. Once you get one goal, you're gonna go to the next one. So yeah, you might finish the book, but you're gonna constantly have to go back to it because it's always gonna be a new goal. It's always gonna be something to obtain. So you know, like Imani said, we constantly got to evolve and we constantly got to grow. So it's a constant change. And understand that once you finish this book, you'll understand that. Not even what you'll take from it, you'll understand that once you finish the book if you go through it. Next person.
I go next. What I want, I want people. The most important thing I want you, the reader, to learn about me is that my past. I didn't allow my past to hold my future hostage. That's the main thing. It's like we can't allow our past experiences, our past relationships, our past people that we encounter, the things that that beat us down or at that moment, we can't allow that past to hold our future hostage. We got to keep going forward and keep looking and keep fighting through it, because like the professor was on here, he said that ain't a train at the end of that tunnel that you see. That's light. Keep going. Keep going. You're gonna come out of that thing. Keep pushing. And use that. I used my experiences to help somebody along the way. That's it.
You want to go ahead? I guess for me.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. You want to go? Go ahead, HASE.
She was speaking, so I didn't know. But I think for me, the one most important thing I think most readers will learn about me, to me, I think one of the most important things is that it's never over. Like it's always continuous, like the journey. But and I think people just need to realize that it's like, where do I start, or where do I proceed? With Circle of Pain, I always talk about it just being an ongoing process. So it's like, yeah, these things are gonna come, but you still gotta just take the initial steps to work out of it. So where do you continue? Where do you proceed? Where do you go? And just in relation to me, that was like one of my thought process, like, going through everything. Once you read the book, you'll see I went through some pretty adverse things, and you'll be like, man, like I probably would have gave up at certain times, but it's like, you can't give up, man. Like, where do I continue to go, or where do I find my inspiration that keeps me going forward? So that's like the main message. But I don't really want to focus on me, because I want the reader's definitely going to take their own thing. I would rather the reader take their own thing from it and not really think about what I did. I want them to be like, put themselves in their own shoes and be like, okay, damn, I'm here. Yeah. How do I get to this next point, or at least get started towards that next point?
Okay.
For me, I just want people to realize that I'm a deep thinker most of the times. That I want other people to start thinking deeply outside of what we're fed, to maybe process things by turning off the distractions a lot of the time, so that we can realize that nature is number one and necessary to take care of it, because if you take care of nature, it's going to do for you as well. And two, that, just like to have a good time, and that we should put humanity first, and that our worlds and our lives end up meeting together at some point. And if we're all flowing in our purposes, then we're going to see something better. So that's what I want people to know about. that I always wanted to see people do better. And now we all should be better and reach our higher potentials. There was one other question in the chat as well. Yeah, there's two. There was two. There were two. So let's do this one real quick, and then I'm gonna go to the next one. It says, for all the book writers, how do you think about putting music to your books? Or have you thought about thinking about putting music to your book?
I'll bite. So I haven't created like a soundtrack for my book or anything, but I do have certain poems that I typically do to music. I have a more revolutionary poem that talks about police brutality that I set to the song Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday. I have a poem called Bag Lady. Hint is set to Bag Lady by none other than the illustrious Mama Erykah Badu. And that's something for me. When I do performances, I like to have a lot of good energy, and music gives me energy. But not only that, when I do music, when I'm doing like my poetry and everything, it helps me to bring the audience in, right? So at the end of the Bag Lady poem, you got everybody hitting that note. I ain't gonna hit it now because there's nobody else around me to hide my voice. But I think that music is so soothing. Music is very needed. Music is therapeutic. Yes. And so for me, being a spoken word artist, music is almost it's essential. You know, I'm writing music. Oh, that.
Uh-oh. Go ahead. Who else want to answer that question? Go back.
Let me. You going, bro? My fault. You go.
You got it, bro. Yeah, I'm about to say, look, my book is nothing but rap quotes. It's nothing but music. That's where I got everything from. You know, I learned about life by listening to music. I learned about arithmetic, like writing in school, but life I learned listening to rap. And what HASE was saying about Circle of Pain, I know that Styles verse. That's a crazy verse. So like, yeah, that's it for me. Like, music is already in the book. That was the whole point of me, you know, coming with the book because of music. That's why I got them on the front, actually, just to honor the rappers, the people.
I'm gonna go to you. I'm sporting the Tupac shirt. Like I told y'all, hip hop has definitely been a major influence. But when I do write, I only listen to jazz. Like, I'm listening to John Coltrane and Miles Davis and stuff. I think it's harder to like write and then listen to something so up tempo, you know, and something sometimes like the words are getting in the way of what I'm thinking. So I like to listen to like calm, subtle music. But in relation to this quote, this question is a really good question, because for my second book, that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually working on the music aspect to tie in with the whole "Do You Feel Numb" narrative. So it'll be a part of it. Which I don't want to tell too much because I kind of want it to be a surprise, but definitely I think that's a great idea of like putting the music in conjunction with the book, because I'm definitely going to do that for my second book. So thanks for that question, Kip.
Definitely.
That's dope. Hold on, I'm gonna get her back. Anybody else wanted to answer that question?
For me, I have not yet performed any of my poems with music or used music at all with my writing, but I would like to have that experience. I agree with what Jaquetta was saying about how music helps you to be able to draw people in and for them to feel connected. So I would like to have the experience of putting music with my poetry. I think it would give it a different feeling.
Dope.
You
actually, when in the beginning, thinking about the book and stuff like that, I did think about, like, because I do have some scriptures in my book, and there is the parts in there where I just write how everything made me feel. And so I did think about doing a little a CD with meditation music in the background as I'm talking about those little snippets. Yeah, I did think about that years ago, but I never did it. That's good.
I
That's
don't
good.
I don't know. I think if I were to read my book live, I'll play music in the background, but I don't think I would put it in like pre-record. I don't know. I haven't thought about that, but that I think live would be better than just pre-recorded for me. So there was another really good question that I want us to answer.
Yeah,
Pretty,
same one. Yeah, that was a good one.
yeah, it was pretty deep as well.
It was deep. I'm about to get deep.
There we go.
That's my brother. That's my brother.
It says, when attempting to create new work or chart a different direction in life, how important is it to believe in yourself? Hey, friends sometimes aren't the first ones to support. Hey,
Can I start with this one? Do y'all mind?
Oh, God. Everybody got
Everybody
I
ready.
wanted to ask first before I just jumped in there.
like everybody burning.
Believing in yourself, that is the most, it's of utmost importance. You have to believe in yourself. You have to keep pushing regardless of what anyone says, regardless of what anyone thinks. You have to make sure that you believe in yourself. It's true what the Kari wrote, that family and friends sometimes aren't the first ones to support. And that's not just with creative work. It can be with careers. It can be with different life choices. And so whatever choices that you're making for yourself, as long as they are good and beneficial for you and they make you happy, you have to keep pushing. So even with my work, sometimes there were certain topics that when I was going through writing my book or asking people to give me thoughts, and they were saying, oh, you should take this one out, or I think you're sharing too much. No, this is my work. It's my story to tell. I believe in myself. It needs to be told.
Anybody else want to jump in on this one? This is a good one.
Go ahead.
Jump in.
Right, double Dutch.
I'll step in.
What I say is, brother, you have to spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 366 on a leap year with yourself. And so ultimately, you have to make sure that you're nurturing and cultivating your spirit in a way that is going to be healthy for you. And so when it comes to people believing in you and what you're doing at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day, when you wake up and open your eyes, you have to move in a way that is going to help you be your best self, right? Move in a way that's not going to be destructive to you or to your community. Move in a way that is going to lead you to be happy. Move in a way that's going to lead you to be healthy. And if people don't get it, because some people will never get it, but the one thing that I always say is walk in your truth, and people will see that when they are ready to see that. As long as you walk in your truth and you evolve in the way that you need to evolve, if like nobody is going to deny the changes that you make. But some people, we have this thing where we kind of like to have that God thing with people. So when you're close to somebody, when it's just your brother or your friend who you know when you see every day, it's like, yeah, you cool, but you ain't no Jay-Z, right? You cool, but you ain't Beyonce, you know. So it kind of like it's really sad that our closeness, that we have 6 degrees of separation to everybody, but the people that we have that 1 degree of separation from, it sort of invalidates it, right? The more accessible that you are to people, the more you essentially become invalidated to them. But those people who are a bit inaccessible to them, they kind of have that look as if they place them on a pedestal. Place yourself on your own pedestal, right? And go after what you know is right and good for you, brother.
I'm gonna take this one now. I feel like in order to believe in yourself, you gotta know who you are. So it's gonna take some time for you to like be like, ooh, there is myself. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us are just walking around like shells, empty shells at that. Take some time to get to know yourself. Take off the distractions. Meditate, pray, do whatever it is so that you can allow whoever you believe in, God, your creator, or whatever it is that you believe in, to actually talk to you so that you can be in a receptive mode. So therefore, when that's being poured into you, then you'll be like, oh snap, I am a self. Oh snap, I am worth something. Oh snap, I have a purpose. So in order to even know that you need to believe in yourself, you got to spend time getting to know who you are. And as far as family and supporters go, I never really asked for family or friends to support me. I always believed, just like how Jesus did, he went out, he was received more by people who he didn't know than the ones he did. So I already adopted that from a long time ago. And I don't expect anything. One, I don't expect anything from anybody. Two,
Right.
I'm definitely not going to ask my family and friends first. I'll go ahead and reach out to people, let them know that I exist, right? Because what we're doing, all of us, we're doing, is not just for the people we know. It's for people that we don't know. Because our inspiration is going to help and encourage somebody that we don't know. So that's what I feel like believing in myself includes. So that's just me.
I like that, Joy. I think that was super dope, because I was going to tie into the same thing when you talked about the universe, the creator, like whatever deity or whatever you believe in. I definitely believe that is in connection with you pursuing whatever you do, for sure. Especially because when you create in any way, you're a loner. Like one thing I realized when I'm creating is always I'm by myself. I'm sitting there. I'm probably in a dark space or whatever, but I'm focused. And one thing I do realize is that my overall concept or my overall thing was like, I'm gonna do this my way. I'm gonna take the influence from everybody, but I wanted to do this my way. Like I said, I was inspired by listening to an audiobook. I was inspired by James Baldwin. So to me, James Baldwin not here and Prodigy not here. So honestly, those are probably the most important people that I probably, and I got it to Styles P. So, like the most important people I really wanted to get it to, other than, communicating just to the get my influence out there to the people was them. And I felt like, I didn't allow like friends and family to kind of like sway me or take me away from that, because I just knew that my vision was so pure. And like you said, you don't want nobody to kind of suppress your dreams or kind of put you in that negative space with what you're doing. I always had, with my mentality, I always had the mentality of like, listen, I want to do it. I want to do this my way. And I also want to do it to influence kids who is in my position, or young adults, or whoever's currently in my position right now, to kind of get up out of that space that I once was in. And so that's like been my whole drive, and my whole thing was just like my influence. Like never really came from like, oh, I want the family to see this or my friends to really do it. It was more or less about the influence to the outside community, such as me, in certain positions that I was in. And and that's kind of just been like my whole drive, and it still is my drive today. Like I'm getting it in schools and things like that. So my thing is just to help the youth and to kind of change this narrative of how we get stuck in places, or we don't really understand or know why things are happening. So we kind of just be like whatever and succumb to it. And I'm kind of trying to work against that whole momentum and say, listen, man, you don't have to really stay into the conforms of society. You can work outside of that. You can be different. Like somebody said, you don't have to just be a dancer or work at the strip club and things like that they promote. Be a rapper. You don't have to be a rapper. You could be a writer. You could be a poet. We come from Harlem Renaissance and things like that, but we were just purely creative. So that's my drive. Be different, do something more important. And your retrospect, how you feel about it.
Yeah. This right here is an excellent question, because this was one of the things that I struggled with my book. That's why it took so long for me to put it out. Like I told you, I started writing my book in 2005. But because I had to change names, I had to change everybody's name. And when I had once my brother read it like this year, he was like, Tony, that's my nickname. That's what they call me. That's my nickname. He said, Tony, I love your book. It's excellent. I love it. It tell a whole bunch. But he was like, you left a whole bunch out. I said, well, probably because I couldn't remember everything, and purposely. The rest of it is your story. So get the writing. That was, but so he reminded me to change change that name. You still left somebody else's name in there. But that was the whole thing though for me, is like I was afraid, and I'm gonna use the word afraid, of how my family was gonna react. I was afraid of how my mother was gonna react. I didn't want to hurt her. And so that's why I didn't even write mine. So I didn't put the book out. So it was like I had to get to the point after my mother passed away. I had to don't worry about what nobody else say, because it ain't their story. This is my story. This is what I went through. And I'm not like the brother that just got through talking. It was like I had to really remember in my mind who the story was for, who the book was for. It was for the outside people. I love my family. I got a really large family. I love them all. But I think only like maybe two of them might have bought the book. You know what I'm saying? So but I ain't focused on that. It's like my focus is I want to get it out to the other people, to the people that I wrote it for, the people that it's intended for. So once I got to that point, it's like come up out of this and focus on this. Focus on the other people that's out there. And so I was like, okay, come on, let's do this. I'm ready. I got it. Let's go. Yeah. And I had Joy. She pushed me.
Always need that help.
Yeah.
I would say for me, like I don't believe in coincidence, right? So that question right there, it's no such thing as a coincidence. Ironically enough, the back of my book, it says it ain't a force in this world like a focused drive. You gotta focus on yourself like an only child. You make your dream realer, you make your team better. So pretty much when you focus on yourself that much, that's by Nipsey Hussle. And Nip passed away March 31st, and my book came out April 1st. So it was a little eerie that I put that back there. Like I said, there's no such thing as a coincidence. So that's what this whole book is about, man. You focusing on yourself so much that I don't even care about what anybody else say, honestly. Like that don't even come up. That's not even a question for me, because I already know what I want to do. So whoever got something to say or support, I'm not looking for that, because I already know what I want to do. So once I do that, my team and everything is becoming real. Look at us right here, right now. We all met at different points. We're not related, but we focus on ourselves so much that look, our team is becoming bigger. And that's what happened. And that's what you got to do. And that's all it is, man. You just focusing on yourself so much, man, that none of that stuff even matters. That noise, that's just noise. And I'm not paying attention to the noise, because I'm just focused on what I'm focused on. And once I do that, I'm going to get to my prize. I'm going to get to where I want to get to. It's just like running a race. I used to run track. So if I'm running a race, if I look to my left, if I look to my right, I'm getting passed. Like somebody passing me. So you got to be focused on you and focus on your lane. And once you focus on your lane and understand that this is your race, you don't have to go at anybody else's pace. You just know that I just need to get to the finish line and get yourself to the finish line. That's it.
Yeah.
There's one question for Imani. How has writing your book helped you through your healing process?
So for me, writing Peer to My Soul has a very therapeutic process. It allowed me to explore my emotions in regards to different things that I experienced. It helped me to be able to process my feelings, and it helped me to be able to heal and move past some traumatic things that I experienced. So being able to write out my feelings, write specifically things that happened to me, and being able to share my truth helped me to get through the very things that made me write the poems in the first place. So it was, that writing process, it just came full circle for me. So it really helped me to deal with some of the traumas that I faced. So I know it's going to be the same thing. I've been writing Peer to My Soul Volume 2. I've experienced different things between writing the first version of Peer to My Soul, even as I'm writing this second one. It has helped me to heal through various situations or to gain insight into things that I've experienced.
There's another question for our sister right there. Uh-oh, the chat jumped on top of me. Go ahead. Jaquetta. Same question. How has writing this book helped you and others through the healing process?
Well, I know it was very integral for the repairing, the restoration of my relationship with my mother. I know that I could definitely relate to you, Stephanie, as far as you not wanting to put certain things out, because that was one of my biggest fears. I was talking about some stuff, and I had a conversation with my mom, and I think that that was really the catalyst for us to have some really deep conversations, because when I talked to her about the things that I would be putting in the book, she said, you know, that's your story to tell, but just know that I have my story too. And when we had a conversation, it changed so much, particularly the way that I came to view her. And so it was so interesting because on my 30th birthday, I actually called her and I apologized for things that I had held during the time that I was growing up. I told her, you know, I couldn't really see you as more than somebody who was constantly doing drugs and drinking alcohol and just seemed to not like me. And I didn't see you as the divine queen that you are. You brought me into this world and you had to raise me without a manual. You know, you had to raise me while you were trying to fix you. So it was, you know, far be it for me to expect you, a broken woman, to raise a whole child. And I think I was really able to, when I wrote this, I had a lot of times when I just kind of had to take a step back, because a lot of things resurface, because I do talk about the molestation. I do talk about seeing domestic violence. I talk about getting cheated on. I talk about all of these things. And I realized that I had a habit of trying to go around stuff instead of going through. And so it wasn't until I sat down, this was really like therapy for me. It was very much like journaling. This was like a diary, you know, of things that I had kind of just sat down like real deep. You know, we carry our pain way down deep in here. So when you hear, y'all ever heard somebody have that real big gut wrenching cry, they coming from somewhere deep down. So when you know, so I had to cry those cries because I had some 7-year-old trauma sitting down there, and I had some 12-year-old trauma sitting down there. And by writing this, I was really able to not only see what it is that was still hurting me, but I kind of shaved off a layer of that first step of healing, and still healing. You know, I'm not done, and I don't expect to be done anytime soon. But yeah, that's how it's helped me, and I think that it's helped others by seeing the way that I was able to sort of change my perspective on things. And so when I say maybe it's not that serious, it's because at one point I thought it was that serious, and then I had to dig deep down and realize that some of the things that I thought was that serious really ain't. So I can give my sisters, and I can give my friends, and I can give people advice from a very real place.
Oh, that's right. I think it's good time to start wrapping it up. But what I want for each and every single one of you to do, we're gonna give our last remarks, everyone. Again, from me to everyone, including you guys on the panel, I want to thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. I'm gonna bring everyone up solo so they can, one, tell you where you can get their books, two, where you can follow them, and three, a last bit of inspirational, love or whatever. So if everyone can mute their mic, I'm gonna start off with none other than Imani, giving her last remarks. So here we go, sis. It's all on you.
Thank you. So first, I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in, for listening to myself and the other authors about our writing process. Once again, my book is called Peer Into My Soul by me, Imani Vee. You can purchase my book on Amazon. Search for Peer Into My Soul. You can also get it directly from me. If you would like to contact me to get a copy, if you're here in the Baltimore area, just send me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram name is Imani_Vee, Vee. And thank you all so much for the support.
How y'all doing? It's HASE Trek again. My book is Circle of Pain. And I'm on, like I stated before, I'm on Amazon.com. You can get the digital as well as the paperback through Amazon.com. I'm in the New Jersey area, so I do drop-offs in Jersey. So it depends on where you. If you're in the central to northern Jersey area, I'll definitely do a drop-off. South Jersey, I have to mail that thing off. Out of state, I'll mail it off. And I'm on, like I said, on all platforms. HASE Trek, just like on the book, HASETREK. If I did that. But HASE Trek on Instagram, on Facebook, on IG. I don't know if y'all can see that, but this is my Instagram. And I just wanted to say thank you to Joy, all the participants that's a part of this, and also all the supporters that was a part of this as well. Y'all stay safe. You're still in the quarantine, so still stay safe. Take care of your health. Do everything you need to do to maintain that. And peace, man. I look forward to hearing from y'all and engaging with y'all more through social media.
All right, everyone. Peace, power, abundance, and healing vibes to you all. Thank you so much for coming out. You can reach me at Pen Fatale on Instagram. That's PENFATALE. Feel free to slide in my DMs anytime. If you would like to purchase a book, just want to chit chat, need a spoken word artist, anything like that. You can also find my book on Amazon. And the name of it is Saturn Returns and Lessons Learned. Nice, beautiful cover. Trying to think what else we were supposed to say. All right, so my book, How to Follow Me, and a parting word is just keep pushing, keep healing, just keep being great, keep doing right. And that's it.
Unmute.
Did y'all hear what I said? No. Okay, I just want to thank all y'all for coming. Thank everybody for coming, and thank all of the artists, all of the book writers. Y'all are great. Great stories. The Fullness to My Emptiness, Stephanie Glenn. You can reach me on Instagram if you would like to purchase my book. DM me on Instagram at Stephanie50 Climbing, all one word, or you can contact me on YouTube. Dang. Stephanie50 Climbing Mukbangs. You can also reach me in there on my community page. The book is on Amazon. So if you want to, like the other brother said, if you just want to get it on your tablet, you can get it from Amazon. So y'all remember, don't let your past hold your future hostage. So I love you. Y'all have a wonderful night.
All right, guys. You can find me at www.rapgoals.com. Pretty much just Google Rap Goals and you'll find me. My Facebook is Rap Goals. My Instagram is Rap Goals. YouTube is Rap Goals. Everything is Rap Goals. You'll find me there, man. Mr. Rap Goals. You'll find me. A parting word: responsibility, accountability, progression. Hold yourself responsible. Hold yourself accountable. You'll progress from there. Try that out for a week and see what you get.
All right, guys. Thank you, YouTube chat, for showing out and showing some support. For anyone who is new, feel free to like, subscribe, share. Also, get to know other people in the chat if you do not know them. This is an opportunity for us to grow together, in my opinion, for us to grow together. I'm so super happy that I was able to meet all of these wonderful authors, whatever path. And I'm thankful that, I am on this journey. All I can say is, you know how to reach me. You can come to the YouTube. I'm on here every single night between 7 and 9 for episodes of Hello World. You can get me on Instagram at btdllc. Same thing with Facebook. My books you can get at btdifferencellc.com. You can also get a copy of any one of ours this evening. We will probably come again next time. I'm hoping that we can do this again, maybe in the fall or whatever. Maybe in the fall when Imani comes out with her book in October, we could come back and celebrate with her. Y'all can start dropping bottles and balloons in the chat. Definitely share out each other. Definitely share out the stream, because we are trying to do something that is positive. You know what I mean? And this is something that is needed for our community, our society. So continue, guys, to be the best version of yourself every single day. The more you grow, the more people will know and also grow too. It's not just about the I, it's about the we. Let's eliminate some of these negative words out of our vocabulary. Yes. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Once again, this was our very first virtual book signing of Meet the Authors. I appreciate you guys again for giving a little bit of your time. We will definitely do this again. I enjoyed what I heard and what I saw. And again, we'll see you soon. And my name is Joy from Be the Difference Clothing, and I am signing out on another episode of Meet the Authors. Hello. See y'all later.
Joy, thank you.